Joe Giglio. All right, you feel better or worse about the Eagles after watching Super Bowl 60 as we unpack and move this thing forward with the Philadelphia Eagles and their chances to get back in this game next year. But Hugh, where do you stand today? Because I think we officially have seen a shift here, and it's 2 years in a row where it is now a full-on defensive sport. 2 years in a row, the best defense won, and they won with good but not great quarterbacks, right? Whatever.
Guess the takes Friday.
Right. You hit it. You hit that one. Whatever you think of Darnold, whatever you think of Hurts, wherever you want to come down
best
arguing.
QB in the NFL.
Whatever. Neither of those guys are elite quarterbacks. Let's just all take a deep breath. Let's say it out loud. We'll just be honest today. Jalen Hurts not an elite quarterback. Sam Darnold not an elite quarterback, but they are championship quarterbacks because defense has taken over the NFL. The Eagles' defense last year was the best. This year was Seattle. They both dominated the game. Hugh Douglas, of course, famous, according to AI, for a take on the other side of this. Hugh, are you ready to now say we have entered a defensive era of the NFL?
I'm willing to say that the defenses have played a huge role in the success of the last, 3 Super Bowls?
I would say 2.
2.5, 3. Okay, I give you that. But the bottom line is, this is still an offensive league, and the offensive players are the ones that make the most money.
This is a joke,
and that's
quite
where
frankly.
my premise was born from. When you look at the stats, and you look at, and I know taking the quarterbacks out of it, because with the quarterbacks in there, that's a no-brainer. They make more money. But receivers and offensive linemen, they're the ones that make the most money in the NFL. And the defensive linemen are like in the third. They're like the third ranking in that category.
I would say edges make the second
They
most.
make a lot of money, but when you talk about
it's
receivers. It's receivers. It's quarterbacks.
Well, hold on. Does any receiver make more than Myles Garrett?
No, but I'm talking about as a whole, because Myles Garrett is like one. Myles Garrett's an outlier when it comes to the him and I'll give you him and Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you have him. You have the guy from was it the Raiders?
Crosby.
He's pretty good. But outside of that, you got more receivers making more of that bread than you have those defensive players, and that's where it was born from. And the quarterbacks take up a lot of that. So that's where it basically was born from. When you look at the money that's allocated, even on the Seattle Seahawks side of the ball, I'd be willing to bet that they have more offensive players making more money on that side than they do in the defensive players. So that's the premise. But basically, the defense to me is the 5.0 with the K&N air filter and the exhaust system on it, and you change the pulleys on it. That's what that is.
But it's the
offense
league.
Is the Ferrari.
Not anymore.
Most people want the Ferrari. Most people are not going to drive the Mustang. The Mustang is more bang for your buck.
If you're talking about what's better to watch,
offense.
maybe.
Yeah.
No,
but that's not really.
But that's what it is. Every week we complain. We complain. Eagles won 11 games this year, and what do we complain about all year
the
long?
offense stunk.
But we complain about the offense
Because if the offense
wasn't picking up the slack.
the bottom line is this: they won 11 games,
right?
And we complain because the offense wasn't as efficient as the money that was allocated to them desired.
Yeah,
I think
the
we're
only
mad
reason
because
they won 11 games is because the defense.
Right.
The
No,
offense
but
was awful.
the point that I'm making, we went out and got a linebacker we got Jalen, what's his name? What's his last name? Jalen Phillips from Miami.
Yeah.
And we got Nakobe Dean back, and we're still piecemealing the defense. That is the premise behind the defense is a luxury, not a necessity.
So I look at it like this. The defense in the NFL has overtaken the offense. The defense is better across the league now. Like the games are won on defense, not offense. It's how the Eagles got to 11 wins. It's why the Seahawks are Super Bowl champions. It's why the Eagles won last year. Like there was a run, I would say about 10 years ago up until about 2 years ago, where it just was whoever has the most efficient offense, and that was typically Brady or Mahomes' team. But like whoever has the most efficient offense was going to win the Super Bowl. Those days are over. It's over. Like, or they've shifted. I mean,
you don't need you. It feels like in the NFL, you don't need that dominant quarterback anymore.
No.
To get you to the game.
You don't even need a dominant offense. You just need to be good on offense and great on defense, and that's the formula.
Yeah, but the offensive players are still like when it starts reflecting the defensive players' paychecks. That's when I'll move off of my hot take.
It depends on what team you are,
right?
And what I mean. Here's the funny thing, because when we talk about what makes like a winning formula, a lot of times it's the quarterback before they get paid all the big money. So I don't think following the salary cap and where the money's going is like a useful exercise here. Deshaun Watson is the biggest cap hit in the NFL.
It's a very useful
It's not. Deshaun Watson is the biggest cap hit in the NFL. He doesn't play.
And why do you think they tried to get him? Because guys like that are hard to find.
But maybe the bad teams are behind the curve. The good teams are ahead of the curve. The Eagles and Seahawks were ahead of the curve. Just have good at quarterback.
Bottom line is this.
Load up on the defense, have good at quarterback, we could win. The Browns, stupid, are behind the curve thinking you need the $70 million quarterback.
Those of us with vision, Joe and I, saw that this thing was shifting a while ago.
Bottom line is this. The Philadelphia Eagles were in the hunt for Deshaun Watson. So were the Atlanta Falcons. The reason why the Browns got him because they gave him more money. They understood that in order to have a shot, you have to have that position.
Right. The Browns are always just like vibrating on a higher frequency than the rest of the league.
The Eagles wanted him. So what does that say about the Eagles?
I mean, look, it says that the Eagles make mistakes.
They got lucky.
But they still wanted him, and they're not, regardless of everything he had going on. Well, they're not the only team that wanted him.
But if they had gotten him, they wouldn't be as good.
My quick theory on that
is they tried to get him.
So here's my theory on it. If you have a truly great quarterback, truly great, Mahomes, Brady, you could pay them whatever and it's good. They're going to make it work. If you have a good quarterback, Darnold, Hurts, then you cannot pay them too much money. Otherwise, it ruins the team. And obviously, if you pay Deshaun Watson what he's paid to be the player he's been, you're dead. So,
that's the position, though. And it's unfortunate, but that's the position because nobody knew who Tom Brady was until Tom Brady got the opportunity to be Tom Brady.
But let's use the Tom Brady example. He was Mr. Take a Pay Cut all the time so that they could surround him with talent.
Man, listen.
I mean, he didn't eat up the majority of their cap.
But the Tom Brady got that money. He got his money.
I know. But the best way to build a team wasn't by letting him eat up a giant chunk of their salary cap. That's not a smart way to operate. We're seeing that.
So I just feel like the league has shifted. I just feel like it's happened very quickly in front of our eyes. It's a defensive league now. I mean, look at the Seahawks. They just took down the top 2 MVP quarterbacks, right?
Yes, they did, with defense.
With defense. With this year, Stafford and May, and I know May did not play well in the postseason, but obviously he was great during the regular season. He finished second in MVP. They just beat him. They beat him with Sam Darnold at quarterback. So as we just, we opened the show today talking about do you feel better or worse about the Eagles. The one thing that does give me hope for the Eagles is their talent is on the defensive side now. So as long as they could keep that productive and together, they're going to be in the mix, right? Like when you have Carter and Davis and DeJean and Mitchell and Bond. I mean, they have a lot on defense. And Jalix Hunt came on, and I still like Nolan Smith, and we'll see if they add more. They have a nucleus on defense. This gives me hope. Like, I'm unsure about Jalen's future. I don't think AJ's going to be here. Saquon's best days are behind him. All that is what it is. If they could keep this defense together, they're going to have a shot year in, year out because that's the league now.
Yeah, they will have a shot, but on the offensive side of the ball, you're going to have some semblance of you can't score 19 points. We know that. You're going to have to play a lot better offensively.
Well, sure.
But the point is that's what most of the funds are allocated to the offensive side of the ball.
Actually watching the game last night, it made me – I actually am really excited for the Eagles to move off some of these expensive offensive players.
Oh, I agree.
I want to move the money to the defense. That's where the best players are. That's where the league is. That's how you win. Give me scheme and good on offense, and give me the greght players on defense.
Hurts pay cut. Get AJ out of here. Bring in Crosby to pair with Carter.
See, now we're talking. All right, 215-592-9494. So just get on the record officially. Are we all on board? This is now a defensive league. Yes.
Nah. Until they start paying them, I'm not going to be on that. Thank you.
But just because GMs don't pay players doesn't mean that's not where the league is.
No, it says that those players are more expendable. They're more expendable, and you need those offensive weapons. Those are the ones that, when you look at it per position, when you talk about the Penei Sewells, you talk about the receivers, on average, they're probably going to play 10 to 15 years. At a decent clip, like at a high level for 10 years, and then you got 5 years of some serviceable play. That's those two positions. Defensive linemen, they burn out faster than the pass rushers. They burn out pretty fast. Look at who was it? Hassan Reddick that was here a few years ago. Guys like that. The older guys, like they burn out.
Sure. Like
the Micah Parsons, he has his moments where he flashes and then he's gone. Things like that. when you have those interior linemen, they make a little bit more money because they can transition from being that dominant pass rusher to that two gapper. I'm sorry, and that guy that could take double teams and everything. But when you talk about the guys that are going to play, the longevity in the league and all the other good stuff, that's on the offensive side of the ball. That's why they make the most money.
I get that, but what's winning? Defense is winning, not the offense. I mean, the 2 years in a row.
No, because it's cheaper. It's easier to get guys that fit a certain niche that you have. Like, when I think of great defensive players, obviously Myles Garrett, I look at Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is a guy that you could put him on any team and he could be successful. Like, you can't put all those other guys. Myles Garrett, the same thing. All those other guys, you can't put them on another team and they be as successful. Some of them are complimentary players.
You said Myles Garrett would be?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying I'm just saying
scheme
other guys.
Dependent.
Yeah,
more scheme dependent.
Yes, that's
I
what
agree.
I meant.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Well, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I just view it as the league is a defensive league now. Like I don't. Maybe it's just years of these defensive coaches.
No, they're playing well, but the point is that you don't have to pay those many. You don't have to pay them like you paid offensive.
Well,
players.
I think it's about to shift. I mean, I don't see how it wouldn't shift. I mean, like, do you think the Seahawks are going to let these guys go? Devin Weatherspoon and Eamon Worry and, I mean, all these guys.
I think
Murphy
there's a
in the middle.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, they let the Legion of Boom go. The one that they was comparing them to last night, they let a lot of those guys go. So, I mean, it happens. When it comes to defensive players in the NFL, it just feels to me like they're more expendable.
I think a shift is happening, and I think the smart teams are going to be ahead of it. Like, you're right. That's a really good point, Hugh. A decade ago, the Seahawks were this, right? And then they paid Russell and let all the defensive players go. I think we're about to see the opposite. I think we're about to see teams.
And guess who's going to ask for a ton of bread this offseason?
Sam Darnold?
Man.
After 1 year on the team?
He going to ask for some money.
Yeah, but part
He's
of
the best quarterback in the league.
Well,
Right?
I mean, yeah, but that's you got to ride the wave, right?
But
you have to ride the wave.
He's
part of the reason why the Seahawks are this good is because they're only paying Darnold $33 million, not $60 million.
And they have the best QB.
That's why it's imperative that you try to win the Super Bowl window is before you pay the quarterback.
Yes.
Because normally when you have
we're
one,
we're chipping away, Joe. We're starting to chip away.
But that's the point, because when you have one that looks halfway decent, that's the type of money that they command.
Right.
Now, you don't need those guys, but just like, okay, a few years ago, I know this one triggered Kyle, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, and he got paid because that's the position.
And now they're not as deep as they used to be.
Yes, but that's the position.
Right. But
So
it's not as conducive to winning.
No, but it's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
It's the nature of the beast.
If you're a losing football
that's
team.
why the defenses are a luxury. That's why defenses are
No,
a
it's the
luxury.
opposite.
No, listen to what I'm saying, guys.
We have been
opposite.
listening. It doesn't make
Brock
sense.
Purdy, and I just gave you an example.
No.
And you gave me an alley-oop. The fact that the Niners are not the team that they used to be because they gave him all that bread and they were decimated on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. No, that's
So
you're like
nature of the beast.
you're making the point for us and then say, and that's why defense is a luxury.
No,
doesn't make sense.
Because you're missing the point. The point is the offensive players are always going to get the most bread because they're the most valuable to a football team.
And that's a mistake.
Why,
is.
It's becoming pretty apparent.
As good as both of those defenses played last night, what is everybody complaining about today? Boring game. Not enough points scored.
Yeah, but that's
what we like is
but
not.
the Seahawks won.
Like, the
Every
Seahawks don't
Seahawks
care.
fan doesn't care if it was boring.
Yeah.
Just like we didn't care that ours was boring last year.
That's
Don't
us
matter.
problem. Chris in the first segment called in and said it reminds me of the '80s. And when he said that, you know what I thought about? Joe Theismann, Jim Plunkett, Jim McMahon,
Yeah, all
Phil
the old school
Simms,
players,
Doug
yeah.
Williams, Jeff Hostetler, Mark Rippon. What do all those guys have in common?
They weren't that great passes.
They weren't that great quarterbacks, right? But they had great teams around them. That's the league is shit. There's always shifts, right? It ebbs and it flows. The NBA's in one of these now, where it used to be you'd have to have the big three. Now it's depth and youth. We're in that shift now, and that actually makes me feel better about the Eagles because they have the defensive players. That makes me feel better. They could scheme their way and transition their way on offense. 215-592-9494. I think we are clearly in a defensive league now. Kyle agrees. Hugh Douglas does not.
No, I'm with you. Darnold's the best QB in the league.
Nah, don't do
He
this.
is.
And defense doesn't matter.
Okay. What happened last night? Did anyone watch that game besides me? Okay, just me.